When you start to think about digital assets, what are the strategies that you guys are seeing that are the most interesting? And kind of take us through some of those.
It's run by the same people. So we have sort of these market making strategies. And what is a market making strategies in crypto comprise of? Well, it's really the same as HFT in equities. So high frequency trading in equities, the Citadels of the world, or the, whatever, they're replaced by people like Wintermute. And so I'm putting out names. If I say a name, believe me, I'm not endorsing anything here. There's a lot of good players here, but I'm just using it as an example. And what people are doing is that the quants who have come from HFT and market making algorithms, and they take their normal, like we have a Citadel guy, used to do market making algorithms, looking at order books, looking at the flows, predicting the price for the next few milliseconds, and making markets. And that was in equities, made a little bit of money. Did it in crypto? Oh my God, his couple 100,000 experiment became millions in a few months. He said, okay, I'm abandoning this stuff. The problem is operational, right? So the algos are the same, the kind of sort of outlook and human behavior that is order books and in analyzing flows of assets here and there is the same. But the operational part of having the exchange connectivity, everything is fully collateralized. You have to move margin from one exchange to the other. So a fully baked market making crypto sort of operation needs, we have one that has 50 different developers, and all the developers do is every time an API changes, because exchanges change the API overnight, you have to keep up with it. If a new coin comes out, you have to program that in. But doing all that, they can easily make 40 to 50% a year without any down months or any down days, except when an exchange goes under, and then they lose all the money on the exchange. So do they have 20% on FTX? No, right? They will have 3 to 5% at risk in an exchange. Exchange will go down. If you look at their returns, it's positive, 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 boom. It's like a 3% down month, 5% down month. FTX happens at 10% down month. But you know what? Again, it's annualizing at 40%. So that's a very good strategy. You have that. So that's exchange arm. The other thing you'll recognize is stat arb. Stat arb, all it is just, looking at a very short-term historical data, looking at relationships that are stable. And then every time it goes out of bounds, taking a small bet for a small amount of time and having it converge. So it's basically a combination of mean reversion and momentum, but in very short time frames, statistically oriented. And what you try and get out is don't take any market risk. So you have to neutralize the beta factor. You have to neutralize momentum. You have to neutralize mean reversion. You have to neutralize all of those standard factors out there. And what's left is noise, hopefully, right? That's the alpha. If you can't really explain it, then it should be alpha. Statistically alpha, so you have to keep track of it and all of that. But again, these people are running about 18 to 20 vol. They have like a 2+ Sharpe ratio. So you can get like 30 to 40% returns, and they're unlevered in the sense that the balance sheet is like 50 long, 50 short. Right? So you cannot get that in equities. These are the kinds of things that get me really excited in the space, because you can do the standard things you used to do, but in a new sphere. DeFi. I'll do one more thing. There's a couple more, but I'll have to mention DeFi because that doesn't exist in the regular world, because all the counterparties in the regular world, equities, bonds, they're all companies. They're all some kind of institution that's a counterparty. In DeFi, your counterparty is some algorithm that someone dreamt up and stuck onto this network out there, right? And it's running around the world in many different computers. No one can stop it. Like the government or whatever can say, oh, I don't like Uniswap. They can arrest all the people who ever had anything to do with Uniswap. Uniswap is still out there. It's running, and you can trade on it. Nothing can stop you from trading on it. So this is a different kind of liquidity pool. So that you can get liquidity, you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum in these sort of decentralized protocols. You can buy a coin there, sell it on a centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase or whatever. And the dynamics of DeFi are very different because different people are providing the liquidity, right? It's not the JP Morgans that are providing the liquidity in Uniswap. It's more like people who made a lot of money in Ethereum, Bitcoin, the whales, the few people like us who are getting involved right now to do that sort of thing. That's very different from on the CeFi, where it's like venture-backed capital in some centralized exchange. They have different type of risk management, but the risk of the Uniswap or an AMM is algorithmically there. It's open source. You can look at the code. You can see where the breaks are. Almost like you can see where, in the old option trading pits where the people were on the floor, they could see where the stops were, and they would run the stops because they knew when they got there. Well, here in AMMs, with the automatic market makers, if there are two coins with a certain amount of liquidity, and there's an equation that governs how one price moves within the pool versus the other, if somebody buys too much of one, you kind of know when that break is going to be, so you can run the stops, just like the options market. And then when it liquidates, if you're there, you could do something about it, right? So somebody deep in the weeds who can figure out the algorithms, who can read code, who can program the bots, there's money to be made in ways that are completely different, but analogous to TradFi.